We're back together again with Psychological Depth. Today's episode will dive into the topic, types of unfaithful women you need to stay away from as soon as possible. 7 types. That's the number that stands between you and complete relational destruction. 7 behavioral patterns that reveal exactly which women will drain your bank account, shatter your peace of mind, and leave you broken while they move on to the next target without looking back. This isn't about shaming anyone's lifestyle choices. This is about you recognizing the warning signs before you lose years of your life, before you invest your emotions into someone incapable of reciprocating, before her past becomes the nightmare that defines your future. Because certain types of promiscuous women exhibit behavioral patterns that make them statistically, psychologically, and practically unsuitable for anything resembling a committed relationship. Most men figure this out after the damage is done, after they've proposed, after they've merged finances, after she's already moved on emotionally while still living in his house. But you're about to learn what took other men years and thousands of dollars in therapy to understand. The patterns are measurable, the red flags are visible, and the men who dismiss these warnings always, without exception, end up in the same situation, replaced, disrespected, and wondering how they missed what was right in front of them the entire time. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the 7 types of promiscuous women you must avoid, the specific behavioral markers that expose their history, the psychological reasons they cannot maintain healthy relationships, and why ignoring these patterns guarantees your failure. Let's begin with the type that fools almost everyone. Type 1, the relationship hopper. The first type appears completely safe on the surface. She's never done casual hookups, she doesn't have one-night stands, she presents herself as someone who only does serious relationships. But when you dig into her romantic history, a disturbing pattern emerges. She's been in 12 serious relationships over the past 8 years. Each relationship lasted somewhere between 4 and 9 months. Every single one ended because he wasn't right for her, wasn't mature enough, or wasn't ready for what she needed. And the gap between each relationship, usually less than 3 weeks before the next boyfriend appeared. This type is particularly dangerous because she camouflages promiscuity behind the facade of commitment. Technically, she's never cheated. Technically, every relationship was exclusive and serious. But the underlying reality exposes something far more destructive. She's been perpetually cycling through men, using relationship labels to justify her complete inability to exist without male attention and validation. Why does this type destroy your future? 3 fundamental reasons make her relationally toxic. First, she has zero capacity for genuine bonding. She never remains in relationships long enough to develop actual emotional depth. The second things move past infatuation and into the real work of building something substantial, she's already mentally checking out and screening for her next option. Second, she's completely addicted to the novelty phase. She's hooked on the rush of early romance, the constant texting, the idealization, the excitement of someone new pursuing her. When that inevitable fades and relationships require actual effort, she doesn't have the psychological tools to maintain connection because she's never developed them. Third, she's carrying massive accumulated damage from multiple failed relationships. Every breakup creates scar tissue. Every transition builds distrust. After a dozen failed relationships, she's dragging enormous emotional baggage that she'll project directly onto you. The warning signs that reveal her: a history filled with multiple short relationships, she's never been genuinely single for more than a few weeks, every ex-boyfriend was the one until suddenly he wasn't. She falls into love impossibly fast and falls out even faster. If you choose to get involved with her, understand this clearly. You'll be relationship number 13, and when the excitement with you inevitably fades after 6 months, you'll be replaced exactly like the 12 men before you. Type 2, the reformed wild girl. The second type comes with a carefully rehearsed explanation. I was completely different back then, but I've genuinely changed. She spent her late teens and early 20s partying constantly. Multiple sexual partners, club hookups, festival flings, maybe experimentation with substances or excessive drinking. But now, conveniently at 29 or 31, she's suddenly looking for something real and meaningful. This type destroys futures because she frames her entire past as completely irrelevant. That was the old me. I'm totally different now.
But here's the uncomfortable truth. She'll never volunteer. Human beings don't fundamentally transform just because they aged out of their party years. And her promiscuous history is the strongest predictor of your relationship's failure. Why is she relationally destructive? 3 critical factors make her unsuitable for commitment. First, her bonding mechanisms are severely compromised. Every previous sexual partner incrementally reduced her neurological ability to form deep emotional bonds. Research consistently demonstrates that women with extensive sexual histories have significantly elevated divorce rates and substantially lower relationship satisfaction. Her brain chemistry no longer produces the oxytocin levels necessary for deep pair bonding. Second, she didn't reform because of moral conviction or personal growth. She reformed out of pure necessity. She didn't leave the party lifestyle because she recognized it was damaging. She left because she aged. Her options decreased, and now she desperately needs to lock down a provider before her window closes completely. You're not her first choice. You're her last resort. Third, years of casual sex and validation through male attention have fundamentally damaged her ability to view intimacy as something meaningful. For her, sex has been transactional for years. That doesn't just disappear because she wants something serious now. How do you identify her? She consistently minimizes and downplays her past. She uses phrases like, "I was young and dumb," or "everyone experiments in college." Her old social media profiles are filled with party photos and revealing outfits. She casually mentions exes frequently. Her friend group is still actively living the party life she claims to have left behind. If you commit to this type, understand what you're accepting. You're getting the used, damaged version after dozens of men experienced her best years absolutely free. Type 3, the one with male orbiters. The third type constantly reassures you they're just friends, while maintaining a rotation of 5 to 8 men who obviously want more than friendship with her. They meet for coffee regularly. They have deep emotional conversations through text. She immediately runs to them whenever you two have conflict. And if you dare express any discomfort with these dynamics, she instantly accuses you of being controlling and insecure. This type is devastatingly dangerous because gaslighting is her core strategy. She expertly makes you feel like you're the problem for noticing obvious reality. These men aren't legitimate platonic friends. They're backup options she deliberately keeps emotionally invested and available. Why does she destroy relationships? 3 toxic patterns define her behavior. First, she has a pathological need for constant male validation. A secure woman in a committed relationship doesn't require attention from multiple men. The fact that she maintains these orbiters reveals that her entire self-esteem depends on knowing she has readily available options. Second, she's constantly preparing for monkey branching. She never releases one branch until she has another firmly secured. Her male friends are pre-vetted replacements who are already emotionally invested. When your relationship hits inevitable difficulties, she already has the next man lined up and ready. Third, she has zero respect for appropriate relationship boundaries. A woman who genuinely respects her relationship understands that keeping men emotionally orbiting is completely inappropriate. Her aggressive insistence on maintaining these friendships reveals that your comfort and the relationship's health rank far below her need for validation. The clear warning signs: constant text communication with male friends, regular one-on-one plans with them. She immediately calls you controlling if you attempt to establish boundaries. Multiple exes remain actively in her life. She aggressively defends these friendships as if they're non-negotiable. If you stay with this type, you will eventually be replaced by one of these orbiters, the precise moment your utility or novelty runs out. Type 4, the discreet sugar baby. The fourth type will never openly acknowledge she's traded sexual access for financial resources, but her history tells the complete story. She's exclusively dated significantly older, considerably wealthier men. Her social media shows photos at expensive restaurants she couldn't afford, luxury hotels, international destinations that don't match her income. When you ask directly, she has rehearsed explanations. "I was invited. A friend paid for it. I got a great deal."
This type is dangerous because she's learned to monetize her sexuality without calling it prostitution. But conditioning yourself to exchange sex for resources creates permanent damage to your capacity for genuine intimacy and emotional connection. Why is she relationally destructive? 3 fundamental reasons. First, she views all relationships as financial transactions. She's conditioned her brain to directly associate sex and intimacy with material compensation. When she's with you, she's unconsciously calculating what she's receiving in exchange for providing you sexual access. Second, she cannot genuinely appreciate non-monetary investment. Acts of service, quality time, emotional availability don't register as valuable because her entire value system has been calibrated around tangible material benefits. Third, she's constantly comparing you to previous providers. She's dated men who spent thousands on her monthly. Unless you equal or exceed that spending level, she'll perpetually feel like she's settling and lowering her standards. How do you identify her? Her lifestyle doesn't remotely match her stated income. She has an extensive history of only dating wealthy, older men. She has high material expectations from the very beginning. She frequently mentions expensive items that were gifted to her. She has profiles on sugar dating platforms, even though she claims she created them just out of curiosity. If you commit to this type, you'll never truly know if she loves you or what you can provide. And the day your financial resources diminish, she'll vanish. Type 5, the social circle recycler.
The fifth type is the woman who is sexually rotated through your friend group, your acquaintances, or your broader social circle. She dated your friend 2 years ago, she had something casual with your coworker last summer. Now she's suddenly interested in you. Everyone feels the awkwardness, but nobody addresses it directly. This type is dangerous because she transforms your entire social circle into a minefield of discomfort and systematically destroys your social respect and standing within the group. Why is she destructive? 3 devastating social consequences follow. First, you immediately lose respect within your circle. Other men who've already been with her will view you as lower value for accepting what they already experienced and rejected. In male social dynamics, being next in rotation after your acquaintances automatically positions you as the inferior option. Second, information asymmetry works completely against you. They know details about her sexual behavior, her character, her patterns that you don't know, and the fact that none of them chose to seriously commit should communicate everything you need to understand. Third, she permanently destroys group dynamics. Social gatherings become uncomfortable, your friends must filter their conversations, there's shared sexual history creating constant tension, and if the relationship ends badly, you lose friendships in the aftermath. The identifying signs. She has excessive familiarity with your social circle. Your friends make vague, careful comments about her. She avoids specific events where certain acquaintances will be present. People react strangely when you mention her name in group settings. If you proceed with this type, you're sacrificing your social position and respect within your circle for a woman who tried with multiple men in your group before finally settling for you. Type 6. The attention addict. The sixth type lives entirely for online validation. Her Instagram is perfectly curated to showcase her body in every single photo. Her TikToks feature revealing clothing and suggestive content. She has thousands of male followers commenting fire emojis and explicit messages on every post. Her entire identity and self-worth are constructed around how much attention she receives from strangers on the internet. This type is dangerous because she is on permanent display for thousands of men while simultaneously telling you that she's the only one who matters to her. Why does she destroy relationships? 3 digital era realities. First, she's genuinely addicted to massive male validation. Every like, every comment, every new follower delivers a dopamine hit directly to her brain. She's psychologically dependent on attention from thousands of men. You alone cannot compete with that magnitude of validation. You'll never be sufficient because her need is literally insatiable. Second, she's signaling sexual availability to enormous audiences. When a woman presents herself sexually on public platforms, she's broadcasting availability to every man who views her content.
Hundreds of men are in her direct messages constantly. She has unlimited options 1 message away. Third, she's deeply narcissistic and superficial. Her entire self-worth is constructed on physical appearance and external attention. She hasn't developed character, relationship skills, or capacity for real intimacy because she's never needed to. The warning signs? Constant provocative photos, highly skewed masculine follower ratios. She actively responds to direct messages from random men. She posts stories specifically designed to generate jealousy and attention. Her entire existence is documented and broadcast online. If you commit to this type, you're entering a relationship where thousands of men are constantly viewing and desiring your woman while she actively enjoys and encourages that attention. Type 7. The history fabricator. The 7th and most insidious type is the woman who deliberately, consciously lies about her sexual history. When you ask how many sexual partners she's had, she confidently says 4 or 5, when the actual number is 40 or 50. She strategically minimizes her past, intentionally omits critical details, and aggressively gaslights you when inconsistencies surface. This type is the absolute most dangerous of all because she's using active, calculated deception to ensure you commit based on completely false information. Why is she destructively dangerous? 3 forms of relationship fraud. First, she's committing informed consent fraud. You have the fundamental right to make relationship decisions based on truthful information. When she lies about her past, she's deliberately robbing you of the ability to choose with complete information. She's obtaining your commitment under fraudulent pretenses. Second, if she lies about this, she'll lie about absolutely everything. Sexual history represents fundamental information in partner evaluation. If she's willing to lie about something this significant, she's willing to lie about anything that might jeopardize your commitment. Third, eventual revelation guarantees total trust collapse. The truth always surfaces eventually. Whether you encounter someone from her past, discover old messages, or she confesses during a guilt moment, you'll discover the deception. And when you do, the entire relationship reveals itself as constructed on lies. How do you identify her? Her stories about her past contain obvious inconsistencies. She becomes immediately defensive when you ask questions. She conveniently doesn't remember specific details. Her number is suspiciously always low, typically between 3 and 6.
Friends or acquaintances make comments that directly contradict her version of events. If you discover she lied and choose to stay, you've taught her that deception works, and you should expect continuous lies moving forward. If these red flags are so clear, why do intelligent men consistently ignore them? 4 primary reasons. First, sexual scarcity. Men without abundant options rationalize completely unacceptable behavior because they fear losing sexual access. Second, denial and wishful thinking. They desperately want to believe she's different, that her situation is the exception, that the past doesn't predict the future. But the data is absolutely clear. Sexual history strongly predicts future relationship success. Third, cultural manipulation and shaming. Modern culture aggressively shames men for having any standards regarding a woman's sexual past. They label you insecure, controlling, misogynistic for considering her history relevant. But protecting your future isn't misogyny, it's intelligent strategy. Fourth, female manipulation tactics. These women are absolute experts at presenting themselves as victims of their past, rather than architects of it. I made mistakes, but I've changed. They manipulate you into playing savior, but you can't save someone from themselves. Men who ignore these 7 types always discover the identical truth eventually. The past predicts the future, and women with extensive promiscuous histories have statistically higher probabilities of infidelity, divorce initiation, and chronic relationship dissatisfaction. Look for a woman with a genuinely low partner count, ideally between 0 and 3. Look for a woman who doesn't require constant male validation to feel worthy. Look for a woman who demonstrates she values commitment, who has a history of long, stable relationships, who naturally respects appropriate relationship boundaries. Yes, these women are significantly harder to find in the current dating market. They require that you also be a genuinely high-value man.
But the investment is worth every single effort because you're building with someone who has intact bonding capacity and relationship skills. Most importantly, never compromise your standards for convenience, loneliness, or social pressure. Your future, your mental health, your financial security, and potentially your genetic legacy depend entirely on choosing correctly. The 7 types are undeniable. The relationship hopper, the reformed wild girl, the one with male orbiters, the discreet sugar baby, the social circle recycler, the attention addict, the history fabricator. These aren't moral judgments about personal lifestyle choices. They're strategic assessments about relationship compatibility and statistical probability of success. And the research data is absolutely clear. Female promiscuity strongly predicts relationship failure across multiple metrics. If this information potentially saved you from years of exploitation, emotional trauma, and financial loss, subscribe to this channel. Every single week, we share the truths about women and relationships that most men only learn after it's too late. Comment below. Have you personally dated any of these 7 types? Write yes or no and what you learned from the experience. The past absolutely matters. Patterns reliably predict the future, and choosing the right woman is unquestionably the most important decision of your entire life. Now you have the knowledge. Use it to protect yourself, protect your resources, and build a future with a woman who genuinely deserves your commitment. So, what are your thoughts on today's topic? Make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel Psychological Depth so you won't miss any of our upcoming posts. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.